Welcome to Our Energy Matters with Anthony Manna and Dena Marie. Aloha.
Yes, hello, hello, hello. And here we are once again, episode number 35.
And I'm in the studio. I'm doing my radio show after this. So this is kind of exciting. This is my first early morning Zoom with Anthony Manna.
Right before your show. Your show is always so powerful. I've been on it several times, and it started with, of course, with you interviewing me about my children's book, Loukas and the Game of Chance. And from there, I was led to your book, which I will talk about in just a little bit here, but it's been a wonder. Today I say, Mer Zavoyu, to our Ukrainian listeners and viewers. That means peace, peace be with you.
Amen.
Amen. And so people should know, I think that when I started learning about your gifts of healing, each week I would write a little piece to introduce each other so that you would know where I'm coming from when I'm learning through your book. And so today my piece says, imagine that your spirit guide, you could call it your higher power, your God, your goddess, you could call it destiny, leads you to the presence of a spiritually creative, genuine, and loving teacher who persuades you to fathom in solitude a soul, mind, body, sensation search with questions that awaken you to the depths of your goodness, your wondrous, blessed self. The questions this teacher, this spiritual mentor, Reiki maven, faith-based healer, inspires you to ask yourself reside in the domain of your soulful identity. You ask, who am I? What do I desire? AKA, what are my heartfelt intentions? What is blocking me to engage in a process of bringing seeds of energy from the universe into every miraculous and thriving feature of my being? And this then, do I have the courage to seek answers? These are the wholehearted questions Dena Marie, a spirit lifter, generates in her enlightened book of spark-tested manifestations of healing, hope, redemptive freedom. Her book, Our Energy Matters, The Art of Crystal Reading, where you can learn how to manifest your heartfelt intentions. Guided by Dena Marie's celestial endowed crystals, morphed, sparkle clear by her readings of your selected colors, her sanctified illuminations of self-acceptance and self-wonder, her burnished awareness and truth-telling, as in this bolt of wisdom expressed in her book, and I'm quoting here, only as high as I reach can I grow, only as far as I seek can I go, only as deep as I look can I see, only as much as I dream can I be. That's wonderful. It has to be a lyric for a song, no?
Oh, I love that because that's my newest thing is I just want to be. I just want to be, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
I guess it takes practice to tune up your energy and be.
And be right now. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, I think it's I don't want to call it a challenge. I think what we do is we slip into it when we know we need it. During her rapturous quest to gather her healing powers, Dena Marie, Lady Grace, or I call her a celestial mentor, observed, studied, and sought remedies for her seekers, her clients' chakra blockages, those pesky impediments that sabotage your self-worth, your happiness, your success, your access, to a higher level of a fully lived existence. Years of alerting her seekers to becoming conscious of their blockages allowed her to imagine darkly humorous fictional characters that personify each of the 7 blocked chakras. The chakras, the energy vortexes, discs, as she describes them here, that distribute universal life force energy throughout the body. So let's look at some of those characters. I mean, I go back to them because, I mean, I say darkly humorous. I mean, they make me smile, and I think it's because I either recognize myself or I recognize people who are close to me, my own grandchildren, let's say, at their stage of life. And it just, it's not a guffaw, you know, it's not a giggle. It's more like a recognition in a kind of humorous way. So why don't I'll start, okay? And then you can comment. I mean, the first one is, I'm reaching for Dena Marie's book. There it is. See those wonderful crystals? Come on in. Gather around. Take a crystal. She's got lots of them. So let's talk about Debbie Downer, as you write it here, is always alone and she feels depressed most of the time. She worries all day and night. She has a poster of Murphy's Law in her office. Her coworkers pity her and invite her to social functions, but when she goes, she brings everyone down. Debbie was an orphan and was raised in foster care. Every time she got her hopes up to have a family, they were smashed. She never did get adopted. Why bother is her mantra. Debbie has a blocked 7th chakra.
I have to tell you something I just remembered. So when I was in 8th grade, I had a girlfriend. I just moved there, didn't know anybody. And we made friends and I liked her. And then after a while I made other friends and I felt bad because I always, like maybe 30 years later, I felt bad that I wasn't her friend. I dumped her, I guess. And I did a healing event where I had my table set up and who shows up but her, Janet. And Janet gets a reading with me. She's Debbie Downer. And the reason I I wasn't her friend anymore is because she brought everybody down. And even as an adult, she brought everyone down. And there was, woe is me. You gave her the prescription. I can't do it. Life is ugly and horrible. So she shakes her head and looks down. And that's, you know, those people, you feel bad for them. And then you end up kind of being depressed by hanging out with them. And usually it's they can't look up. They learn to look down and shake their head. I've had so many clients and it's basically counting your blessings. You know, we even said, I had a friend come over who does readings with me and we tried as hard as we could to get her party started. She left kind of like she wasn't going to change, you know? And so maybe it's for us too. Like if people aren't willing to do their homework, we can't do it for them.
That's great. Yeah, I understand that. And that's a primary theme that I pick up from reading your book is that people come to you, you invite them in, and then you say, look, this is what we need to do here. You know, and it starts with the crystal reading and it can go into the chakras and it can go into tarot and it can go into deep, you know, breathing and so many different things that we really need to keep ourselves alert to in order to grow and to heal, you know, and I find that it's something that I need to think about every day now. You know, it's not something I can put off. Should we go on to Kathy Chatter?
Your favorite one, yes.
Oh yeah, she's a riot. Kathy Chatter loves to talk. She calls her friends and can speak to them for hours on the phone. I know there are 2 people in my life. Oh my gosh. She likes to gossip about her friends and neighbors. She knows she does it, but she can't stop herself. Her husband doesn't talk much. Well, he doesn't have a chance. She complains about her husband constantly to her family while he is in the room. Oh, that's the worst. Kathy felt ignored by her parents when she was younger. They had a lot of family problems and didn't have time for chit chat. There was no communication in the home unless it was to criticize. Kathy has a 5th chakra that is too open. Now, what do you mean by that?
So she didn't want to see what was going on in her life. So she learned to shut this off. her feelings were probably hurt because her parents didn't pay attention to her or listen to her when she talked. So this got bigger. So your throat chakra is your fifth chakra. It got bigger. And so these are the blocks, right? And I have it in my book. There was a woman with her husband doing a reading, a relationship reading, and she wouldn't shut up. And she was saying horrible things about him. And finally I said, let him talk. And she kept interrupting him. So I gave him something to read. I just wanted to see if she could keep her mouth quiet. What he read out of a book, and she could not. So she's a perfect example of someone who needs to do some self-love 101 and that inner child work. You got to go back to the little girl who maybe saw the parents fighting, maybe didn't have time to, or didn't get listened to. That's number one. She didn't have parents that would listen to her. And so she's overcompensating with an open throat chakra. Blah, blah, blah. So what she probably needs to do is be quiet and listen. That would be hard for her.
That would be very hard for her. And I think what I keep thinking too is that when I'm dealing with people like that, I find it very difficult to know how to get them to stop. You know, and I don't have a technique, I don't have a strategy, you know, or what do you want to call it? Just a human being going to another human being and saying, hold on a minute, please, take a breath, you know, but it's too difficult.
And I'm dealing with that right now. And someone noticed it too, that someone they'll walk by and say, how's your day going? But they don't stop to listen, but they still ask you that question. And it's super frustrating, right? And so I don't talk to that person anymore. I just don't want to.
Yeah. I'd
rather talk to someone like you, and we go back and forth and we have a conversation.
Yeah, I totally understand what you mean. And I think that came out to me when I was still, you know, a professor at a university, where students would come with their complaints, but they had such an agenda that they really weren't listening to anything I would say to them to try to comfort them, you know, until one day, the student that I gave a lower grade to because her work was so poor, she came at me in my office and I had to call the secretary to come in and help me, you know, do some kind of intervention, you know, and we both calmed down. But I mean, I was scared, you know, she was so angry, and she was just going on and on and on and on, blah, 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 and it got higher and higher and higher, and to the boiling point. Oh, well, now I will go with you to Sid Vicious. And I think that'll be the last one because it's 10:46 and you have to leave to start your show today. You're wondrous. Sid Vicious likes to play to win. If he loses, he gets very angry. Most people won't play games with him because of his temper. Once he attacked one of his coaches at school after losing a game. Sid grew up unsupervised with 5 older brothers who teased and tormented him. Oh gosh. He learned early on that if he held in his tears, his brothers would leave him alone. Sid's 3rd chakra is too open.
And that's the student you just talked about. Her heart wasn't open, or she'd have a little bit more empathy and be able to talk to you, but her solar plexus below her heart had stored energy, so she exploded. So energy always wants to rise. Energy wants to flow. It wants to be moving. But if we have a blocked heart chakra, maybe she had a relationship that just broke up and she took it out on you, you know, because her heart was blocked and all she had was her throat and her power chakra. All she could do was attack. And I think that's a little bit of PTSD too. You keep, or some women do it to it. I call it it's like a volcano. They keep pushing, oh, it's okay. You can treat me poorly. You can treat me poorly. And eventually it blows. You don't want to be that person because it's because you're resentful, but you kind of keep doing it over and over again. And then you're the problem. Let the people know right away. Don't hold it in. I don't like that behavior. I know what you're doing. Stop it.
yeah, stop it. Perfect. Yeah, that's okay. So we did quite a few of those today, and I think the next time we meet, we can continue with the next one would be Samantha Sympathetic. Oh yeah, she's another one. Okay, well, have a great show, which is about to begin. And I say that ends part 1 of your Dena Marie's portraits of imagined characters with blocked or two open chakras. If you want to move closer to Dena Marie's wisdom, listen to her weekly, that is Friday radio show, Lift Your Spirits, on 1150 AM KKNW. She hosts, or she invites guests to host. Her website is dena-marie.com. And it's an illuminated place to go because you'll learn about some of the work she does, her healing work, her being work, her being in the moment work, and so much to learn. And my website is anthonymannabooks.com. That's MANNA. For an interview with Dena Marie, go to my website's media section for my Podbean podcast interviews, and you'll find her there. Also, you'll find on my website a lot of upbeat information about reading and writing with teens, tweens, and kids, and also a lot of book reviews, poetry, etc. So if you're into reading with kids, you can go there for that. Well, so for that reason, well, then Dena Marie, have a great show, and we'll talk very soon. Have a great day.
I have to do this. Peace out, Anthony Manna. Till
There
next time.
There we go, Dena Marie. Okay, Dena Marie. We'll talk soon. Take good care. Goodbye, everybody.